This is Scott Becker with the Becker Private Equity and Business Podcast. Here are 11 stories that we're following today. Before I get started, I'll note two things as a prescript to this. First, Chairman Powell gave the markets and Congress some confidence today that we'll be lowering rates in not too long. That has sent the markets skyrocketing today. Second, layoffs hit their highest point in a long time this March. This has also led the markets up as more confidence that the Fed will cut rates. So here are a number of the stories that we're following today. First, the markets rose yesterday and are rising again today. They rose in reaction to Chairman Powell's comments that we should expect rate cuts in not too long. Second, Chairman Powell's trying to hit it very much down the middle. He's got flack on the left from people saying he should reduce rates sooner. He's got flack on the right saying don't reduce rates as a campaign ploy to help the Democrats, and that we need to keep on fighting inflation. I think Chairman Powell, to his credit, is doing a great job trying to hit it as much down the middle as he possibly can. Third, Nordstrom's dropped 16% yesterday. Love shopping at Nordstrom's. A bit of a debacle with what's going on with their stock and their business. Fourth, oil is back to close to $8 a barrel. Again, that's going to hit us at the pump hard in not too long. Fifth, Bitcoin was down, then rose again, back to about $66,000, $67,000 today. Sixth, great article in Business Insider saying that essentially you could expect a serious recession at some point and a very significant decline in stock prices. Again, without us cutting into the federal deficit, I don't see that happening, but a very warning article in Business Insider from a well-regarded analyst saying stocks might crash up to 60%. Again, hard to see that happening with all the deficit spend we're doing, and we'll see when that changes. And that's the point we make at point 7 today, is that if the deficit spending artificially inflates everything, including the stock markets, so it's hard to see that crash unless you really tighten up the deficit spending. Then you have less money flowing into the economy, less money flowing to people's pockets, less inflation, but a much better chance that the market doesn't keep on rising. Eighth, Foot Locker dropped nearly 30% yesterday. Suddenly it seems like it's running out of steam. Ninth, Xerox also dropped 11% yesterday. Again, there's only so many copies, I guess, that you can make. That's the point we have today. Excited to see the Becker Private Equity Podcast hit 4 million downloads. It's about 4 million more than my book has sold, Blocking and Tackling. But the point is that the podcast is ranked number 1 this week on the Apple Business News charts, which we view as just tremendous. A couple of the thoughts today that we'll share with you on a separate podcast. We'll talk about valuing ride or die people in your business. We'll also talk about this concept of bootstrapping a company versus taking on outside funding and some of the pros and cons of that. Thank you for listening to the Becker Private Equity and Business Podcast. Thank you, as always, to Chanel Bunger, our wonderful producer. If you listen to this all the way through and send me a note saying you listen to the 10 Stories Podcast and you're the first one to do so, we'll send you a $100 Amazon gift card. Thank you for listening to the Becker Private Equity and Business Podcast.